Is Ramayana a myth?
It's a Sanatana. It's our way of life is what is projected. There is no religion called Hindu. That was coined on us by the West.
On the streets, you'll find people reciting Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Do you think there's a danger that through this we might be polarizing the country?
Prasad Gupta was on his way back home when he was stabbed by a rioter.
Or
आज पूरा अयोध्या नर नारी हर कोई खुशियों से झूम रहा है.
can we still take that as a symbol of unity?
Meet Srini Katta, a tech visionary with patents in AI, who turned to the Ramayana not as mythology, but as a guide to modern life. From Austin to Ayodhya, he's showing us why India's oldest story might still be its boldest idea.
Rama and Lakshmana are not born to the same mother. Rama to Kausalya, Lakshmana to Sumitra. But the way they were brought up in Ayodhya Royal Palace was the greatest example for every family of modern life. The Sanatan Dharma, if you call it. There is only Dharma Patni, there is no Dharma Pati. So Patni holds the Dharma. So we cannot hold Dharma when we don't have Dharma Patni. When Hanuman went to Lanka in search of Sita, up until like 2-3 a.m. in the morning, he could not find Sita. And his mind started playing games. Rama would be heartbroken. And Lakshmana would kill Sugriva. Sugriva is dead. His wife Tara would die. If they are dead, the entire Vanara clan would commit suicide. Then he decides, I should end my life here. Without the recruitment of Hanuman by Rama, there is no Ramayana as we know.
Srini, thank you so much. Such a pleasure having you on this podcast.
Gauravji, I'm so happy to be on your show. Thank you for having me. It so happened I came to your studio after Ram Lala's darshan in Ayodhya and offering the book Rama, Lakshmana and Hanuman, brothers in arms, to Ram Lala there. And then straight I took the flight this morning from Lucknow and came to your studio.
Thank you. It says Rama, Lakshmana and Hanumana, brothers in arms. Ramayana Retold. Srini, we all have certain defining moments in our life that either adds, subtracts, or change the trajectory of our life. What was that moment in your life when you thought to yourself, it's time for you to retold Ramayana through this book?
Currently I live in Austin, Texas. In summer, there are programs offered by the temples so that the kids are engaged and they learn about our Sanatana Dharma. So one of the organizers asked me for about 8 years ago to come and teach lessons from Ramayana. It all started for 3-4 hours engagement with these students that are attending this summer camp. I know from the experience of talking to the parents and their discussions with the kids when it comes to India's culture, Sanatana Dharma, there is a gap. So going and talking about Ramayana in the terms of what we used to hear and learn from the story I picked up when Rama and Lakshmana reached the foothills of Rishyamukha Parvata. Sugriva startled, thought that his brother Vali might have sent mighty warriors to kill him. And here comes Hanuman, and this one word that he said to Sugriva, fear not, because Vali cannot send anybody, cannot come to the Rishyamukha Parvata because he has a curse. So, fear not. But he still started and asked Hanuman to go down the hill and meet these two saint-looking warriors and find out why they are at that moment.
Yeah.
And also Sugriva instructs Hanuman to disguise his form and transform into an ascetic. Because an ascetic gives immediate, instantaneous trust. So because Sugriva instructed, because Sugriva is his king, so he transformed into an ascetic and came down and bowed to Rama and Lakshmana, and he has praised them in Sanskrit. But you have to think it. He is, by physical form, is a Vanara.
Yeah.
So his teeth will be different. Even though he took the ascetic form, certain aspects of the body won't change. He will have the Vanara teeth. So he has to pick up the words that doesn't reveal his teeth line to Rama and Lakshmana. So he has to carefully craft the praises using. So when Rama listened, he immediately recognized that Hanuman is a Vedic scholar. And in his mind, he thought, any king can achieve greatest things in the world if a minister like Hanuman is there with them. So he instantaneously recognized the strength and the qualities of Hanuman. At that moment itself, the recruitment of Hanuman has happened. So, without the recruitment of Hanuman by Rama, there is no Ramayana as we know.
Yeah.
So always find that the best person to work with you.
Yeah.
And that's the 90% of the problem solved. The remaining 10% will be solved by time.
Yeah. I just love it when you said without Hanumana there is no Ramayana.
Yes.
And this is so true as well. And without a doubt, hands down, Ramayana has been the most epic mythologies that we have studied, at least in India. And I'll not be surprised if it's been studied globally as well. But still, there's a word myth attached to that. Is Ramayana a myth?
You know, I would ask every person or audience of your channel to read Valmiki's Ramayana and they will get an answer. So here comes a story that is woven into my own life. So, when Rama went to Vanavasa, he was meeting a lot of rishis, and at the end he meets Agastya Maharishi. He has a special place, and I have to touch something here that there is always a kind of difference between north and south when it comes here. So all these rishis before, Bharadwaja Maharishi came, Sutikshana, all these rishis came to Dandakaranya, because Dandakaranya is a tropical forest, there is tubers, there is roots, there is fruits. So you just do your penance. When you're hungry, you pluck something and eat and go back and penance. So it's a great spiritual place, and it would accelerate their sadhana. For that reason only they came to Dandakaranya from the Aryavarta. So in Aryavarta, in those days, there is a typical Varnashrama system. When it comes to South, even today there are a lot of anecdotal examples in the history that in South, talent is more recognized in those days. So we have seen Yadava kings, we have seen Brahmin kings, we've seen Vaishya kings, we have seen Reddy kings. So there are also, it's all about your talent. You have the talent, you run it. It's not by, you are Kshatriya. A Kshatriya is only eligible to rule. That did not apply to the South. So why I'm talking about this is, this Agastya Maharishi, he came from Aryavarta, but he understood, he studied the local customs. He understood, and he has created the grammar for Tamil.
Yeah.
So he is fondly known as Agasthyar in South.
Yes.
And he is considered as one of the Siddha.
One of the 18 Siddhas
18
that we have in
Siddhas.
Tamil.
So, when Rama finally came to meet Agastya Maharishi and asked him that, before that he was spending time in all these ashrams. He didn't have any permit after leaving Chitrakuta. So, here comes Agastya Maharishi, and he says that you have to build your Parnashala or a kutir in Panchavati. There are tribes, these tribes are being harassed and victimized by the Rakshasas.
Yeah.
You need to protect these tribes from the Rakshasas. And Rama gladly accepted it. And at the time, Rama asked the question, how do I know the place where I have to build the Panchavati? He says, on your way, it's about 2.5 crores. You can calculate depending on 10 miles from his ashram. He said, you will see Maduka trees. And it was a springtime. These Maduka trees are in full blossom. So, Maduka is in Sanskrit, Maua is in Hindi.
Yeah.
So this Maduka flower is being used by the tribes for medicinal purposes and also to make liquor. So he told Rama, you will smell the licorice smell as you get close to the Panchavati.
Of the Maua flowers. Okay.
So that's how you know that you are close to Panchavati.
Yeah.
So all the way until Panchavati, you will have Maduka trees. So this is the first recorded biology or zoology of, I'm going to come and talk about, and botany of Indian subcontinent. This is the first record, I would say.
Yeah.
So he comes there and then he helps those tribes. And coming back to this current modern world, I was born in a small town called Bhadrachalam. It is called, southern Ayodhya, because there is a Rama temple there. So there is a river Godavari, and the other bank is the Rama temple, and on this bank, our town called Burgampahad. So when they play Suprabhatam, I would hear on this bank where I was born and living.
So you would wake up with the chants of those.
Chants of, yes. So during the Sri Rama Navami, during the Navami days, there is a tribe called Guttikoyas.
Guttikoyas.
Yes.
Okay.
So they would come by foot with their families and everybody, and they carry the old and children in the bamboo baskets and kavadi. And my job was to offer water to them, because they've been thirsty, they've been walking. So for 7 days, it was my job to stand in front of my home and offer that. I did not understand the significance of it. So why I'm connecting these two dots is, people say 5,000 years, 10,000 years, Rama, right? Rama, the goodness that he has created in their hearts, carried from generation to generation to generation. That's why even today they have that same devotion to, they heard the stories from their forefathers.
Yeah.
Now you decide whether you want to call it as a myth or a living kavya, a living book. I leave it to you and the audience to decide.
Yeah.
I would not call it as a myth, but you have your own way of interpreting.
The choice is ours. Srinji, help me understand. It's been thousands of years that Valmiki wrote Ramayana, the first version of Ramayana, in its purest, truest form.
Yes.
Why do you think it is more relevant to us than ever before?
The weaknesses in us, and also teaches us how to overcome those weaknesses and take our life towards more perfection. And to give an example, when Sita was abducted by Ravana, because we all know that Sita asked Lakshmana to go and help Rama. When Lakshmana went towards Rama, Rama already killed Marija, and then found out this is a transformer, and it was applied, this is a big thing. And he saw Lakshmana. At that point, his heart sank. Why did you leave Sita Ma there and come to me? He said, I had no choice. Because she asked me to go. She didn't give me any choice. I insisted that nothing will happen to you, but she did not listen. Your brother needs your help, you gotta go.
Yeah.
She suspected something foul play. And at that point, he was angry with Lakshmana. And both are walking. They came to the Parnashala or Kutir, and nowhere Sita was found. His immediate reaction was, Lakshmana, you go back to Ayodhya. I'll deal with this one. Because he was so upset that he left Sita and came to him. Lakshmana, most of the stories that you hear from is Lakshmana has anger. Lakshmana is an angry person. But if you follow the story from the Valmiki's Ramayana, there is a completely different Lakshmana that we all need in our life. So then they both go to the places where Rama and Sita usually visit. One of the river places for both of them is swimming in the river Godavari. So both goes to the river Godavari, and he is so upset, Rama, and asks river Godavari, tell me the whereabouts of Sita. If you don't tell, I'm going to dry you up with my arrow. You see, there was furiousness, anger, bursting out of Rama. If you look at about the Vishnu, Santakaram Bhujagasayanam, he is the abode of peace. He is the incarnation of Vishnu, if you talk about from that aspect. But in the whole Valmiki's Ramayana, you will not see any interpretation of the so-called religion or dharma in it. Like it's a Sanatana, it's our way of life is what is projected. A religion is a word coined by the West and used for greater purposes to control the masses. And we don't have such word. There is no religion called Hindu. We adopted it, we were okay with that, but that was coined on us by the West. Ours is Sanatana Dharma, it's way of life. Again, coming back to the story. Then Lakshmana at this point, he is trying to pacify, bring down his anger. Anna, let's go and find Sita. Let's not get upset. We need to find her. And then he turns towards the mountains. Tell me about Sita. If you don't tell me, I'm going to pulverize you to the ground. He could not control his anger. This actually baffled me. How Santakaram Bhujagasayanam could have that eruption of anger. And that question was answered to me. I met one gentleman, he works in Indian Army as a Director General of Vehicles, and I'm fortunate to meet him in Bangalore. So my friend introduced to him, and in our discussion, he said, you look like a yogi, and my friend said, he's writing a book on Ramayana. Oh, that's very interesting. Then he said he was a yoga teacher like me, and then actually opened up, and then without any hesitation, I said that, and I asked him this question. I could not perceive how he was erupting with an anger, a person like Rama. Then he said, he did not just lose Sita, he lost Dharma Patni. Think in that direction. When I came and actually did the research, in our Indian context, or the Sanatan Dharma, if you call it, there is only Dharma Patni, there is no Dharma Pati. So Patni holds the Dharma. So we cannot hold Dharma when we don't have Dharma Patni. So for us to do good to the society, the support of that Dharma Patni, that's why a special role is given. She nurtures the next generation. She brings the next generation into this world and nurtures them. We are only providers. When our energy is in the Muladhara, our response is always going to be either fight or flight. But when we will take very informed decisions, our energy is at the Sahasrara. So the moment Sita was abducted, Rama's energy dropped from Sahasrara into Muladhara. So his responses are fight and fight. So the greatest lesson we should all learn from Ramayana is that never lose that energy. When things hit someone badly, don't react instantaneously. Take your time to analyze the situation and then come up with your response.
It so well connects. Since you spoke about Lakshmana And you gave a very different perspective, the way he has always been perceived as, and the way Rama has been perceived as. He was not his real brother, he was his half brother.
Correct.
And in the book that you have written about Rama, Lakshman, Hanumana, brothers in arms. Give us the context of why did you choose this title?
Rama, Lakshmana, if we say that these brothers are like Rama and Lakshmana, right? We use that very contextually, like, oh my God, these two are great like Rama and Lakshmana. But we all don't know that Rama and Lakshmana are not born to the same mother. Rama to Kausalya, Lakshmana to Sumitra. But the way they were brought up in Ayodhya royal palace was the greatest example for every family of modern life. I hear stories of, oh, my children doesn't go very well. My siblings we siblings doesn't go very well. Learn that, because we have to put that very early on into their life, that they are there for each other. So that is the greatest family value we could all receive from Ramayana. That's why I'm asking everybody, if you haven't read the Ramayana, please start it. And it will open up. It is a Jiva Kavya. It will give life to you. It will change the reader's life.
And tell us about the third character that you brought in, Hanumanji.
Right. Remember I said this was a given name? So if you look at Hanuman Chalisa, Laya Sajivana, Lakana Jiyaye, Sri Raghuvira, Harashi Uralaye, Raghupati Kinihi, Bahota Badai, Tumam Priya Bharata hi Samabhai. He said, you are like Bharata, means what? Brother. So Lakshmana is a brother, now Hanuman is also brother. That's what Tulsidas has written. So that was given to me by Tulsidas ji. It's not me. So here is, we always perceive the relationship has to be the blood relationship.
Yeah.
They share the same common father. But they share nothing with Hanuman. But Hanuman has become his brother. So reach out. You can make as many brothers and sisters outside of your family. You would be loved.
Yeah.
That's why we have a concept that it takes a whole village to raise a child. When we were growing up in India, we never called anybody by the name. Usko chacha, mama. So these are our extended family.
Yeah.
So that's where you make more brothers and sisters.
Yeah. What is that one context possibly most of us tend to miss when we look at this unstoppable trio together? And what can we learn from the monkey army that Rama could bring together?
When Kaikeyi asked Rama to go to the forest for exile for 14 years, he shouldn't have any of the royal paraphernalia. He cannot have silk, so he has hemp clothes, he has no shoes, barefoot, and he cannot ask anything from the kingdom. He has to be on his own. He was alone. So that's where Ravana also might have thought, because Ravana is a warrior, his calculation is all about, hey, what is his strength? He doesn't even have a pair of good clothes. What Rama is going to do to me if I abduct his wife? And crossing the ocean, coming to Lanka, that's what's going on in Ravana's mind. But Rama has nothing but, this is the greatest example of, people always, unke paas ye hai, wo hai, isliye wo kar paaye, kar sake, unka family support kare, mera kuch bhi nahi hai. What Rama has? He has nothing, he started with zero. And also, here is a greatest example. Rama is the one who is in need of, his wife has been abducted. When he goes to Sugriva, what does Sugriva ask? Sugriva asks him to, kill Vali and coronate him to the Kishkinda as a king. Who has the greatest problem here? His wife has been abducted. He didn't know where she is.
It's a personal loss.
And here he comes, he is first helping the other person. Sugriva. And also another story I'll tell you. It's a very interesting story. You heard about Kabandha in the Ramayana story? Kabandha is a grotesque form. He doesn't have a head. Head and torso is kind of, smashed together, and his eyes are on his chest. He has arms that could travel up to 5 miles. So he grabs. And Rama and Lakshmana are searching for Sita, and they're coming into the southerly direction. And then Kabandha grasps them, because he sits and eats. Because he had a curse. He took that grotesque form to scare a Rishi, and Rishi cursed him to be in that form. Then he went and said, please forgive me what I did. He said, when Rama Lakshmana comes, your curse will be lifted. So that's the story. So these hands come to him. And Rama and Lakshmana took their swords and sliced his arms. Then he realized that the people that he was holding with his hands was no ordinary other than Rama and Lakshmana. But here he knows that Rama and Lakshmana. So this is again, there's a lot of human psychology plays into this. The Rishi told him that your curse will be lifted when Rama and Lakshmana come and slice his hands. So that has been manifested. That has been approved. So Kabandha was a Gandharva. To get his Gandharva form, his body has to be completely incinerated. So he heard the story about their Vanavasa and abduction of Sita. And he said that I can help you. But first you help me in incinerating my body so that I get my Gandharva form. So here is the stranger, right? Kabandha is not known to them. They sliced his hands because in self-defense. So now he asks to incinerate his body. It takes a lot of work to do. You have to help this guy, burn his body down so that he gets this form. And once he gets his Gandharva form, whether he is going to help them or not is an unknown factor. Now, two strangers doing a transaction here. So now Rama and Lakshmana thinks to themselves, okay, we help this guy. If he's saying what he's saying, we may get some help. If not, what else? Just the time and effort we have put in. Right? In real life, we come across situations like this. We meet strangers when you're trying to do transaction. Find out analytically. And there they decide to incinerate, and then he comes, becomes a Gandharva, and gives him a plot, talks about Sugriva and how to go from there to Rishyamukha Parvata. He explains, again, the record of the zoology, biology of Indian subcontinent is very well recorded in the book. So coming back, whether it's up to you to decide.
Whether it's a myth or it is. Air Marshal Mr. A.K. Bhartiji, he recited one of the verses from Ramcharitmanas, and he said that Bhai bina na hoy priti. Without fear, there's no respect and no love. In today's context, how would you bring these two concepts together? And especially in the corporate world that we work with.
It's a great question. I think the answer is in our Mimamsa, which is called, Samadhana, Veda, Dandopaya. First try to do dialogue, right, to solve this problem. Samadhana, Veda, Dandopaya. So to give an example, Rama comes with his mighty Vanara army and reaches the southern tip of the India. Now he has to go to the southernmost, that is Sri Lanka. But there is a mighty ocean in between. So they reached by evening and they sat there and they meditated on the Sagara to give a path for them to cross. And Rama's prayers did not get answered. So the Sama, Dana has failed, right? So now he stands up and takes his bow, takes his arrow, which is Brahmastra, and points at Sagara. If you don't give me the way, I am going to annihilate you. I'm going to dry you up. That's Brahmastra, so powerful. Then the Sagara manifests himself and says that by nature, I'm water, I have to fill. This is going against my Dharma. But you have a great architect, Nala, in your army. He's the son of Maya, the divine architect. He should be able to build the bridge. And I will uphold those bricks. And Rama says, I already pointed my astra at you. It cannot go wasted. I cannot put it. Then the story in that is he asked Rama to point that astra to the northwest corner of the ocean where there were demons lurking under those waters. So the story is the current Thar desert was part of the entire ocean at the time. Because of Rama's astra, that dried up and become a desert. So always, you try with Sama. So if not, you have to show your might, what you're capable of.
And during our conversation, you spoke about that religion is different from spirituality. Tell us, what is the difference?
Religion is a weapon that has been used to control the masses. So that you could segregate them like black and white, like I am different from you. So religion in a way is bad. The spirituality, it doesn't matter whether you are following Sanatan Dharma or Islam or Christianity. Because I'm saying again, when I say Christianity, I'm not referring to religion. The teachings of Jesus are the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. You follow that, and then I did some studies. And when you follow that spiritual path, your soul opens up, your heart opens up, and the divinity will be received by every single person. But first thing is you have to open up that heart.
You have touched a very important point. In India at least, a major part of the country is echoing to the sound of Jai Shri Ram. On the streets, you'll find people reciting Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. My 5-year-old Neer recites Jai Shri Ram. Do you think there's a danger that through this we might be polarizing the country? Or can we still take that as a symbol of unity?
I think your question comes from the Western thought process.
Possibly.
Because Rama is beyond the religions that we know today in this world.
Yes.
And when Rama was going into exile, he came to the banks of the river Ganga, and he meets a tribal king. And he calls him as, I'm leaving this one because I'm not giving the name for people to go and read it. Purposefully, I'm leaving the gram, but I will still say because of this attention span less, Guha is the tribal king. Rama calls him as his friend. And Guha comes and meets Rama, Lakshmana and Sita and says that, what should I arrange for you dinner? I said, we're not eating, we are doing upavash, but people from Ayodhya followed. So please feed them. So Guha is a tribe. He's not even in the Varnashrama architecture. So Rama went beyond this one. In his time itself, he went beyond this. For that one, he transcends the so-called modern religion. Everybody, whoever is living in this part of the world, we all belong to that great Rama.
Yeah.
And I will tell you something, that the people that are chanting Jai Shri Ram, it's great, but take it to inside of you. And then practice what he taught us.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. It's like on August 15th, you're waving the flag, that doesn't show your patriotism.
Yeah.
Your patriotism comes when you go and support your Jawan who is fighting on the front lines, sending a care package to them, that shows your real patriotism. Because you don't know how to go and fight on the frontiers, but you support those that are fighting on the frontiers.
Yeah. I just loved it, what you're talking about, because that's what I've always believed in, that if religion is used to polarize humanity, then we are walking in the wrong direction. In one of those comments made by one of the political leaders, where I personally found it very derogatory, where the leader segmented between upper caste and the lower caste.
I just given a great example of
That
Rama calling Guha as his friend. And then another story, as you go into this one, again going back, before he went to the Rishamukha hill, he meets Shabari. Again, Shabari is a tribal woman, and he accepts water from her. He transcended all these rules of engagement because humanity mattered. He has shown the true characters of humankind, what we are supposed to follow. If somebody is in need, see, this is in our culture. I observe, right, when you travel in a train, that's what we mostly did when we were leaving. Now most people take flights and different story. So there is a stranger sitting in front of you, you got some food you brought from home. Before you eat, you offer to them, would you like to have the chapati? It's a stranger. Nobody in the West offers that. It's part of our culture. Helping others is part of our culture.
Without talking about darkness, it's of no use to talk about light. One of the dark characters in Ramayana has been Ravana. Was he that evil, or is Ravana the most underrated character, or I should use the word essence, in the whole script?
So when Hanuman entered into Lanka in search of Sita, he went to every building, every edifice in Lanka, and finally he entered into the mansion of Ravana. And there is a display of wealth, prosperity in that. And the nightclubs we talk about in the Western and here, there were nightclubs in the sense similar to there were bars, majjasalas, with different kinds of liquors, drinks, and food, different varieties of meat. At Ravana's, there's a humongous dance court hall. So Hanuman was thinking inside that Ravana has accumulated all this wealth in a rightful manner until he has abducted Sita. So people can defend and say he is a Vedic scholar and he used to wake up and do this Vedic recital and he's a Parama Bhakta of Shiva. You can play anything. To make a pot of milk spoil, a small drop of poison is enough. You don't need another pot of poison. That one wrong thinking with this ego, I can do anything. The whole world should surrender to me. I can abduct Sita. Rama cannot do anything. He doesn't have anything. That's one thought. That's a dark thought. That brought him down.
And
not anybody else.
And what is the significance of, they said that Ravana had 10 heads. So what is the significance?
How can I explain to somebody his 10x arrogance? This 10 heads represents his height of arrogance. How arrogant Ravana was, like, I am the one, this aham, I am. They are manifest in 10x.
So Srini, at the same time, when we are talking about 10x arrogance, aham you spoke about,
Yes.
that I am.
I am.
Right? I can do anything. I can abduct somebody's wife as well. How would you help me understand the being and the brain of Ravana, who could recite Shiva Stotram.
Dharma. That's the central concept of Ramayana. So we are all custodians. We don't own anything in this world. You heard and I heard, everybody knows that we don't bring anything into this world, we take nothing from this world. But we have roles to play. We are custodians. With children, we are custodians. We have given the responsibility of bringing up the child. So every child that we touch is equal as your child. So that's our dharma. We always have to uphold the dharma. As a Raja, it is your foremost duty to take care about the welfare of your citizens, not about yourself, not about your ego, not about how I can use my power, the power given by the people. Like same thing happens in the electoral also. When people get that power to their head, I think that I really called out in this book.
Yeah.
So when power gets to their head, they start behaving completely different. In this last 10 years, there are so many examples in front of us we can watch. We have so many hopes about these leaders. They are going to be transformational leaders in India, but ended to be a dud. Why? Because aham. I have this power. No, this power is given to you by people.
As you said, the custodian is the right word.
So he failed that benchmark.
Yeah.
Ravana failed that benchmark.
Yeah. Since we are talking about devotion, we spoke about loyalty, we spoke about duty, we spoke about bringing the team together, making sure that I am surrounded with the right ministers. How can we bring in all these concepts and bring it as a family value in our day-to-day lives?
It's a beautiful question. Maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago, there are not enough employment in this country. One earning member would support the whole family. And then when another person gets a job, they go on, but they never complain that, hey, I took care about them, it's their time to take care about us, right? Because it is given as part of your dharma. You are the eldest of the family, you got to take care about your family. It's your dharma. Whether you like it or not, that's a dharma. Whether your wife likes it or not, you have to convince her to fulfill the dharma without any expectation. Your brother or your sister may become rich, but they may not give you anything. But you should never feel that if I haven't supported this person, where he would have been. That thought should never cross your mind. So that's why in our culture, they ask you to check before you do anything. Apatra danam, meaning whether the person is eligible to receive your help or your dhan, your any sahayata. That we have to apply that rule. Once you give it, there is no expectation. So there are going to be Hanuman. Hanuman has no expectation. He made kings. He made Sugriva as a king. Tuma upakara Sugriva kinaha Rama milaya rajapadadina. So he has no expectation. He wants he could be. That was not intention, but his intention is to uphold the dharma. So that's what the role he played. In our family, some may become rich, but some other person may be just doing what he is supposed to do to uphold the dharma. Their role is no less. Let's not measure the success of a person on the financial status. We have to demyth that, debunk that. That's not how our culture is. When I was growing up, a teacher is more respected than the wealthiest man in the town. This is what I said, that our 35, 40 years of the touch with America has changed our psyche and our thought process and has shaken our fundamentals.
Yeah. Since we are coming to the end of this conversation, Srini, and you just mentioned about Hanumana, referring back to your book, Rama, Lakshmana and Hanumana, brothers in arms, and the most prominent photograph is of Hanumana. He's considered as a symbol of bhakti, shakti, and vairagya. How can we bring in Bhakti, Shakti, and Vairagya in our respective lives?
When we take any work, anything that one wants to achieve, do it bhakti. That means this is what I want to achieve in my life. When that bhakti is manifested, it becomes the Shakti. When you have bhakti and Shakti, that transform into the third and makes the Vairagya. Because it is no more, you have seen it, that Shakti has manifested in it. That means you know what happens when you open up your heart. So that makes more humble. That means we enter into Vairagya. Vairagya doesn't mean that you are going into the forest and sitting in a corner, but nothing externally happening is going to change. You will not call, I had a great day, I have a very bad day. That doesn't come. Every day is same. Every kala is same. Whether it is rainy season, whether it is a winter, whether it is summer, you enjoy all them equally. You treat all them equally. That is the Vairagya. That means you are in the most blissful state and your energy is at Sahasrara. Also mentioned Hanuman as, Bhakti, Shakti and Vairagya. But there is another aspect of Hanuman which we all needed. So, when Hanuman went to Lanka in search of Sita, up until 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, he could not find Sita. And his mind started playing games with him. If I don't find Sita, if you read the book or read the original Valmiki's Ramayana, they passed the 1 month deadline set up by Sugriva. And Sugriva is ruthless. He would punish, he would kill them because they haven't returned within a month. And if they have some good news, he may forgive. But they don't have, he doesn't have any good news. He couldn't find Sita. And his mind started playing. If I don't find Sita, I go back. We are already late on the time schedule. And we tell Sugriva that we couldn't find Sita, he would kill us. That one scenario his mind played. And the second scene it plays, I go and tell that I couldn't find Sita. Rama could be heartbroken. When Lakshmana would kill Sugriva, if Sugriva is dead, his wife Tara would die. And Ruma, another wife, would die. And Angada, so Vali's son, and Tara's son, he would die. And if they are dead, the entire Vanara clan would commit suicide, rolling from the mountains. And look at how his mind was playing games with him, different mind games. Then he decides, I should end my life here. And then starts playing how to end the life. Oh, I should drown myself in the ocean. Or I should stop eating and do death unto fasting. This is the mighty that we all consider him. He's the Shaktisali. Look at his mind. He is weakened by his own mind. This is very well written in Valmiki's Ramayana. At that point, he realizes, now, I have to do analytical thinking. Let's stop this emotional thinking. He puts to live or die. He said, and when he puts those columns, it comes very clear to me, if he is alive, if he could not find Sita, he could take Ravana and drop him at Rama's feet. At least he could do that. And it is better to live than die. So, most of the people, I would say that in their lifetime, for some incidents, it's not worth living anymore, would cross their mind. This is where we have to draw the lesson that there is so much of good in living. And the things one is going through hardship will come to an end.
Yeah.
There is always light at the end of the tunnel.
Srini, thank you so much for spending time with us. And I think the last 1.5 hour has been totally transformational for me to look at the whole epic, as you said, the real Kavya,
Jiva Kavya.
Jiva Kavya as you call it, through a very different lens altogether. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Namaste.
Thank you. I'm sure you would have loved this conversation as well, as much as I loved it. Thank you so much one more time for listening to the whole conversation. Do take this time to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I look forward to meeting you again yet with another beautiful conversation next week. Take care, stay blessed.